Hard life for these women, undeniably hard life. To me, a stranger, they seem very cheerful, but maybe over the next few days we'll discover that life for the Afar women isn't as cheerful as it appears on the surface.
If I can find a moment when the men aren't around, I may learn what the women think about their lives here. Day 2, and Dougal is heading off with his team to continue his geological exploration of the Afar region. On our journey here, he's picked up evidence of increasing volcanic activity, which could mean the Horn of Africa will eventually break away from the continent and lead to the birth of a new ocean. Just a few days' drive away, there's evidence that this is happening faster than anyone realised. 2 years ago, there was an earthquake which the locals say produced a vast crack in the surface of the Earth.
We're hoping to see something which is very visual from the ground up. We know that this particular fissure was involved in also a small volcanic eruption, so there should be good evidence of essentially the ground just breaking apart underneath our feet.
The fissure is so remote, it's only been mapped by satellite and no one has ventured inside. So this journey promises to be a scientific goldmine, if they're able to get the team and their equipment where no man has gone before.
Go, go! Go, Mom!
While we wait for news of Dougal's venture, Steve finds that the Afar rely for their survival on another staple animal, just as important as the camel, that universal ruminant, the goat.
Goats are one of the most amazing species. They can live everywhere. They can live at the top of mountains, they can live out in the desert. And we're going to follow these guys now, and we're going to see just how they use their behaviour to exist out here, because it's a completely different role than the camels.
Like camels, goats can provide milk and meat, and though they're no use for transport, they're a lot more placid and much easier to keep. So responsibility for looking after them is given to the children.
The little boy who seems to be in charge, that's Abdullah. He's probably about 6 or 7. Now, given how important these livestock are, and what a massive part of the wealth of this family is tied up in these animals, that's a huge responsibility.
The vegetation here, despite the water, is very sparse and toughened by the harsh desert conditions. To find out just how the goats find enough to flourish, Steve has decided to conduct a simple experiment.
OK, well, I'm going to have to be a bit on the sly side. So. Oh, steady, there we go. You're going to be our test goat, OK? I'm going to pop a little GPS tracker on him, or her, OK? And then pop it round its neck. Good man, you hang on to goat. Abdullah. What is the goat's name?
Afasi.
Afasi.
Redmouth.
Redmouth. Yeah. Right, let's follow Redmouth then, Afasi, and see where he goes.
Steve is hoping to collect samples of everything Afasi eats in a day.
Afasi, where have you gone? Just a mouthful here and a mouthful there. That's what it's all about, being a goat. There's the fruit, leaves, dried leaves. There's other sort of woody, sort of herby-looking plant. It all aids the digestive process.
When Steve downloads the GPS data, he'll be able to see just how far the goats have to go to get a square meal.
You doing a good job? You doing a good job?
Meh.
Meh. Yeah, good. Good lad. Come on, then.
Come in.
Yeah, come on.
Come on.
That's it. You tell them what to do.
Come on.
Hiya. Hiya. Who teaches you to dance? It's very cool.
That same evening, he gets the results of the goat test.
I'm just downloading the data for that now. It's quite interesting, actually. What we've got on the x-axis is time, moving along here, and then this y-axis here is her speed. Now, 0 is about here, so when she's sort of at this point along this line here, she's actually stood still. I mean, you can just see it keeps moving, stopping, moving, stopping, moving, stopping.
In just an hour, Afasi stopped 30 times, and over the course of the day, the little goat walked a staggering 12 kilometres as she sought out enough food to survive.
What this really highlights is that this ability of the goat to seek out the good food. It's not just basically wandering up to one bush and just munching away on that until everything's gone. Quite often we would see the goats today, they'd go up, they'd sniff at something and they wouldn't eat it at all. And you think, you know, that can't be a good survival trait if it's turning its nose up at what looks to us as good food. But obviously it can detect that, you know, it's not quite as good as the next bush, which means that they get the absolute best out of what's available.
This is why the Afar relies so much on their goat herds. The goat's ability to turn sparse bush into walking protein is largely what keeps the people here alive. The next day, on the dusty road to the earthquake fissure, Dougal's venture hits a snag. Not content with just going to the site of the earthquake, Dougal's brought along over 100 kilos of state-of-the-art equipment to map the earthquake fissure in 3D. But this is as far as the cars can go, and there aren't enough camels to take all the kit.
As you can see, it's still a pretty horrendous, dusty place. We've only got half the camels we asked for. The other half are somewhere over in the dust over there. So I guess we're going to load most of the heavy gear here, and hopefully the other camels will come and pick up the rest of the gear. We've only got basically a day and a half up there to make sure the whole system works. So we'll push on ahead, and hopefully we can catch up a little bit of time, and hopefully the sun will be a bit kind to us today. Fat chance.
They have no choice but to load as much of the kit onto the camels as they can and set off walking across the lava fields. What should be a half-day's trek as a camel train turns into a day-long hike with no guarantee they'll have enough gear at the other end to do the 3D scan.
Yeah.
6 a.m. the next day, and they're still a kilometre from the earthquake fissure. Some camels have arrived, but the rest could be anywhere.
We've got basically one day of sunlight left. We've got the fissure to do, and that's it. We can't fail. This is it. Today it's one day and one day only.
But now there's another obstacle. The last kilometre between them and their goal is studded with volcanic vents spewing deadly sulphur dioxide gas. Like a chemical minefield which they have no way of avoiding. So, carrying gas safety monitors, Dougal and the team set off on the final leg of their journey.
Walking in with your detector, I feel almost like a canary heading into a coal mine. Hopefully I won't be a dead canary.
What Dougal doesn't know is that the rest of his vital mapping kit has finally left base camp and is on its way. Though there's no guarantee it will arrive in time to use it before it gets dark. However, after a highly stressful and demanding 3-day journey, Dougal is about to get his first sight of the Dabahoo earthquake fissure.
Well, we've still got some fairly low readings, which is good, but we've got to be close. I mean,
Just keep monitoring it.
Whoa! You are
God.
kidding me.
Dougal.
Absolutely awesome.